Lazy. That's the word they throw at you, isn't it? Like a knife, like a label, like a curse. They look at you lying still, not moving at their speed, not running in their race, and they sneer. Lazy. But they don't see what's really happening inside you. They don't hear the gears grinding in your soul, the weight pressing on your chest, the silence that feels heavier than 1,000 voices. They think you're wasting time, when in reality, time is crushing you, testing you, shaping you. Stillness. People hate it, don't they? They look at you when you're not moving, not rushing, not chasing the same illusions they are, and they slap a word on you like it explains everything. Lazy. It's funny how quick they are to judge silence, to mock stillness, to laugh at pauses. They can't even sit with themselves for 5 minutes without reaching for some distraction. But when you sit still, when you slow down, suddenly you're broken, you're behind, you're weak. They don't understand that sometimes stillness isn't weakness at all. Sometimes it's survival. The only way to keep from being ripped apart by the chaos clawing at you from the inside. You see, survival doesn't always look heroic. It doesn't always look like someone charging through fire or lifting a car off the ground. Sometimes survival is just staying in one place, refusing to move when everything inside you is screaming, twisting, pushing you toward collapse. Sometimes survival is lying in bed with your eyes wide open, fighting a war no one else can see. They call it laziness because they think survival should be loud, dramatic, obvious. But survival, real survival, is quiet. It's a stillness that takes more strength than most people will ever know. Imagine carrying a storm inside your chest every single day. Imagine dragging yourself through hours that feel like mountains. Imagine your thoughts clawing at you, whispering, screaming, laughing in your head, and still, you stay. You breathe, you wait, you endure. That's not laziness. That's the kind of strength that never gets applause because no one can see it. Stillness is what keeps you alive when the fire burns too hot, when the noise is too loud, when the weight is too much. It's not surrender, it's strategy. But of course, the world doesn't care about strategy. The world wants performance. They want you to dance for them, run for them, smile for them, bleed for them. And when you don't, when you stop, when you pause, they laugh. They don't realize you're conserving energy for a fight they could never last through. They don't realize that what they call laziness is the reason you're still standing. Because if you forced yourself to run at their pace, you'd be done by now. Broken. Gone. Stillness is the refusal to collapse into their game. Stillness is the moment you say, no, not today. And that drives them insane because they can't control it, they can't explain it, and they can't understand it. They don't want to see that stillness is actually strength, because then they'd have to admit their own weakness. They'd have to admit they can't face silence. They can't face themselves. They can't sit in the dark without shaking. You can. And that's what makes you dangerous to them. So when they sneer, when they whisper, when they call you lazy, let them. They'll never know what it costs to sit still and survive. They'll never understand the strength it takes to breathe when everything inside wants to quit. Stillness is not weakness. Stillness is survival, and survival, real, raw survival, has always been the most powerful thing of all. The funny thing about battles is that people only believe in the ones they can see. If you've got bruises, scars, blood dripping down your face, they clap for you, they nod, they say, "Oh, what a fighter." But when the fight is inside, when the cuts don't show, when the bleeding is quiet and hidden, they dismiss it. They call it weakness. They call it laziness. They don't see the truth because they can't. Invisible wars terrify them, so they pretend they don't exist. But you know better. You've been in those wars. You've felt the weight no one else notices. You've carried wounds no one else even believes are real. Every day you wake up with a battle already raging in your chest. The kind that doesn't ask your permission. The kind that doesn't give you a break. It gnaws at your thoughts. It squeezes your lungs. It whispers that you're nothing, and still you show up. Not in the way they expect. Not with flags and fireworks, but in silence. And silence is louder than they think. Because silence is where the strongest wars are fought. You know what's cruel? People think the inside fight is easy. They think lying there, staring at the ceiling, trying to push one foot to the floor, is nothing. They think dragging yourself to take a breath you don't even want to take is laziness. They don't understand that invisible battles are harder than the visible ones, because there's no medal waiting for you, no applause, no validation. Just you and the weight of yourself, clashing endlessly in a war no one else even believes is happening. That's why so many give up. It's not because they're weak. It's because they're tired of being strong in silence. But let me tell you this. If the world could step inside your head for just a second, if they could feel the fire that never dies down, if they could hear the noise that never shuts up, if they could carry the chains you've dragged behind you every day of your life, they'd fall to their knees. They wouldn't call you lazy. They'd call you unbreakable. They'd call you dangerous. They'd call you a survivor. But they can't feel it. So they call it something else to make themselves comfortable. They call it laziness, and they walk away, smug in their ignorance. The invisible battle is the purest kind of fight, because it's not for show. It's not for credit. It's not for anyone else's approval. It's just you against the shadows. And every time you open your eyes, every time you take one more step, every time you breathe through the weight of it, you've won. You've beaten an enemy they don't even believe exists. And isn't that ironic? They think you're losing while you're winning the hardest war a human being can fight. So let them think what they want. Let them laugh. Let them call it lazy. They'll never know that their laughter couldn't survive a second in your silence. They'll never know that their easy words would choke them if they had to swallow the weight you carry. But you know, and that's why you're still here. Because the invisible battles, the ones they don't see, Those are the fights that forge the strongest kind of survivor. Delay. That's the word people spit at you. When you don't move at their pace. When you don't rush like a rat through their maze. They see you taking time, breathing slow, pausing when they expect sprinting, and they roll their eyes. They think you're lazy, behind, lost. But delay isn't what they think. Delay can be design. Delay can be the sharpening of the blade before it cuts. Delay can be transformation in disguise, the kind that needs time in the shadows before stepping into the light. It's almost funny how they worship speed, isn't it? They think faster means better, louder means stronger, constant motion means success. But have you ever watched someone move so fast they stumble, trip, crash into themselves? They burn out before they even reach the starting line. They collapse because speed without purpose is chaos, and chaos eats itself alive. Meanwhile, you're pausing, you're waiting, you're simmering, and they think that's failure, but it's not. It's patience wearing a mask. It's strategy dressed as stillness. Change takes time. Real change, the kind that rewires your bones, the kind that tears out who you were and rebuilds you from scratch, that doesn't happen in a rush. That happens in silence, in delay, in the moments everyone else dismisses. A caterpillar looks useless before it becomes a butterfly. A seed looks dead before it breaks the soil. A delay doesn't mean nothing's happening. It means everything is happening. But it's hidden, buried where impatient eyes can't see. And that's the joke, isn't it? They laugh at you for being still while you're actually building something they'll never understand until it hits them in the face. They mock you for pausing while you're storing strength, collecting energy, growing roots so deep they'll never be able to pull you down. They confuse transformation with laziness because they can't tell the difference between motion and meaning. They only know how to chase, not how to prepare. Delay has a way of testing you, stretching you, breaking down your illusions. It strips you bare, makes you sit with yourself, forces you to confront what's real and what's not. And while that's happening, everyone else is racing ahead, proud of their speed, oblivious to the fact that the race they're running isn't even worth winning. They don't see that your delay is refining you in ways their sprint never could. They don't see that your stillness is shaping you into something that won't shatter when the storm comes. Because storms always come. And when they do, the ones who rushed will crumble, and the one who endured delay will stand. The one they called lazy will be the only one left standing, because delay made them unshakable. Delay carved them into something solid, while the rest chased shadows. Delay wasn't failure. It was the slow burn, the preparation, the transformation that doesn't need applause to be real. So let them sneer at your pauses. Let them whisper about your delays. They'll never understand that what they call laziness is just a process they're too blind to see. And when the time comes, when the silence breaks, when what was hidden finally steps into the light, they'll realize the truth too late. Delay wasn't weakness. Delay was transformation. And transformation always takes its time. It's a funny little trick people play, isn't it? They look at the doors that slam in your face, the chances that slip through your fingers, the opportunities that vanish before you can grab them, and they whisper failure. They think rejection is proof you're not enough, proof you're lazy, proof you're unworthy. But what they never see is that closed doors don't end the story. They redirect it. They shove you down a path you never would have chosen, one you never thought you needed, but one that ends up being the only road that could have carried you where you were meant to go. People hate rejection because they think it's personal. They think it's the world laughing at them, mocking their efforts, proving their weakness. But maybe those rejections were never meant to destroy you. Maybe they were meant to protect you, to turn you away from the traps you thought were treasures, to save you from the cages you were ready to walk into with a smile on your face. Maybe that door that wouldn't open was never your door to begin with. But of course, no one sees that in the moment. In the moment, it burns. It feels like humiliation, like punishment, like proof that you're falling behind. You see everyone else walking through their doors, celebrating, winning, running ahead, and you're stuck outside, staring at a wall. They laugh, they sneer, they tell you that you're lazy, that you're not trying hard enough. They don't realize that the closed door isn't the end. It's a redirection. It's a detour. It's a push into the shadows, where you'll find a different kind of fire, a different kind of strength, a different kind of destiny. Closed doors force you to pause, and in that pause, you start to see. You start to realize that maybe the thing you were chasing wasn't what you needed at all. Maybe it would have broken you. Maybe it would have trapped you in something smaller than you were meant to be. That pause carves you, stretches you, tears you apart in ways that hurt like hell, but it also clears the path for something bigger, something sharper, something truer. And here's the twist. Those doors, the ones you thought betrayed you, might be the very reason you survive. Think about it. If every door opened easily, you'd wander into anything. You'd waste yourself on distractions, on illusions, on empty rooms dressed up like palaces. You'd never stop, never think, never ask why. Closed doors save you from that. They force you to ask questions, to dig deeper, to demand more. They take you places you'd never go if life just handed you the easy key. The ones who mock you for being stuck, for being delayed, for being rejected. They don't see the bigger picture. They only see speed and success, like trophies on a shelf. They don't notice that half of those trophies are hollow, meaningless, broken inside. They don't notice that the ones who walked through the open doors too soon are the ones who end up trapped, choking in rooms that look golden but feel like prisons. You, though, you with the closed doors, you're the one being pushed into something stronger, something real, something that won't shatter the second life gets loud. So every rejection, every slammed door, every no, it isn't weakness. It isn't laziness. It isn't proof that you're failing. It's a hand pulling you away from what would have killed you, pushing you towards something you can't see yet, but will one day thank the darkness for. The closed door isn't the end. It's the setup. It's the redirection. It's the map to the very place you were meant to go all along. Timing. That's the piece everyone forgets. The one nobody wants to admit runs the whole show. They think it's about effort, hustle, grinding till your bones turn to dust. They think the louder they scream, the faster they move, the quicker they'll win. But timing doesn't care about their screaming. Timing doesn't care about their sprint. Timing is the quiet hand in the shadows, pulling strings, opening doors at the exact second they're meant to open, and slamming them shut when you're not ready. People hate waiting. They treat patience like poison. They want everything now, yesterday, before they even deserve it. And when they don't get it, when life makes them wait, they cry, they curse, they point at themselves and whisper, lazy. But here's the cruel joke. They don't see that delay is proof of precision. That every second of waiting is sharpening them, breaking them, molding them into the kind of person who can actually handle what they've been asking for. Because getting it too soon isn't a blessing, it's a curse. Too soon, and it collapses in your hands. Too soon, and you burn out before the fire even starts. Too soon, and the gift becomes the chain that strangles you. Think about it. How many times did you want something so badly you thought you'd die without it, only to realize later it would have destroyed you if you had gotten it right then? That job, that relationship, that opportunity, it looked like gold, but it was rust wrapped in shiny paper. The delay exposed that. The delay saved you from running headfirst into a wall you couldn't see. Timing protected you by holding you back, even when you screamed at the ceiling for answers. But of course, no one celebrates timing. They celebrate speed. They celebrate the ones who post their wins, who brag about their success, who pretend they climbed the mountain overnight. What they don't see is the collapse that follows, the hollowness that comes when you grab the crown, before you're strong enough to carry it. Timing is cruel like that. It doesn't give you the crown until you've grown the neck to hold its weight. And that process, that waiting, that delay, is what builds you in silence. It's not weakness to wait. It's not laziness to pause. It's survival. It's precision. It's the exact shaping of who you need to be when the moment finally arrives. And the funny part, the very people who call you lazy for waiting will be the first ones to wonder how you came out of nowhere, how you suddenly stood tall when they thought you were crawling. They won't realize that timing was your weapon all along, the invisible ally they never believed in. Every second of waiting is a test, not a punishment, a test. Can you endure the silence? Can you stand still while the world races past you, laughing, mocking, pointing fingers? Can you trust that your time is coming, even when everything in you screams to give up? That's what separates the ones who last from the ones who burn out. Because the ones who can endure the delay, the ones who let timing do its work, those are the ones who don't just survive. They take over when the moment finally breaks. So when they call you lazy for waiting, smile. Let them run their race. Let them grab their hollow trophies. Let them choke on their speed. Because when your time arrives, and it will, the precision will be undeniable. Timing never makes mistakes. It doesn't care about their laughter. It doesn't care about their rush. It waits until you're ready, until the crown won't break you, until the fire won't consume you. Timing is the proof that every second you waited was part of the plan, part of the sharpening, part of the setup for something they won't see coming until it's too late.